I love baseball cards. Got 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em, need 'em, need 'em, got 'em, got 'em, need 'em.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Flea Market Antique Mall Pickups video. It's been a little while since I posted a video with my recent pickups. I've kind of got a backlog of pickup videos actually to shoot. But I just wanted to share with you some quick, unique items that I picked up in Southwest Missouri. I was traveling and I spotted an antique mall off the side of the road, so I turned my car around and went back and looked around, and I found this neat little item, or items I should say, kind of stored together. And this has kind of a hodgepodge of items in it. It's got a Cardinals media guide, some Ozzie Smith items, and I'm not sure if those are socks or wristbands or what those are. And on the back is a Cardinals surf book. So I'm going to bust this open. Just stay right with me for a second here, and I will share the items with you as I pull them out of this neat little bag. Alright, so let me just get this open here, and I'm going to, I guess, start with this Ozzie Smith stuff, because these are just so odd. It looks like it is a wristband of sorts, I guess. So an Ozzie Smith wristband. I'm not really sure what this is. I think it's a headband, to be honest with you. I don't know. But that is an Ozzie Smith wristband and a St. Louis Cardinals headband, maybe? I mean, what do you guys think? Looks like a headband to me. I'm not much into headbands, but talk about 80s. That's all I gotta say. So, I mean, I saw this in the bag, and the Ozzie Smith is what, caught my eye. I think that's pretty cool, actually. And you can tell it's probably been some kids. It's kind of worn and used, it looks like. But very unique. Not sure what that was in the back of there. But a very unique item nonetheless. Ozzie Smith wristband and St. Louis Cardinals headband. So that's kind of a unique little item to have in a package. Alright. So the next item is a 1996 St. Louis Cardinals media guide. And it's got Tony La Russa on the cover. And I want to say that was around his first year of coaching the team. Just kind of leaf through it here real quick, and crap, I didn't notice that. I just noticed that it's got some water damage. Like maybe somebody put their bush on the book. But this is also very well used. But kind of a neat little, let me kind of flip through it here. Hopefully it doesn't glare up or get too blurry. But it's got profiles of the players. There's Lou Brock. Probably the special instructors at spring training. Dave Duncan. There's La Russa. So, it's a standard media guide from back in the day. It's got all the stats from '85, profile pictures, a lot of the players and their stats. Well, Willie McGee's got quite the write-up. Look at that. Willie McGee had like 3 pages of notes. Now, why is this so extensive? I haven't gotten a media guide in years, guys, but this media guide, okay, this is something that before the internet existed, okay, it's called a media guide for a reason. Typically your broadcasters, either they would go through them or, one of their other people that are on the television crew or the radio crew would go through here and point out little fact tidbits, about players while they're batting. Like Willie McGee, won the batting title in 1985 with a blah, blah, blah. You know, he's the first switch hitter to ever do whatever, you know, that type of thing. So before the internet existed, where information was at your fingertips, this was all you had to work with. So that's why media guides, especially pre-2000s, are so cool, because they're just jam-packed with so much information about players. You know, because this is all you had to go by. I mean, I go back to before the internet. You know, this is all you had. I mean, you can see how small the print is on this. I mean, this thing is just jam-packed with Cardinal facts. You know, about the 95 season, and historically about some other things as well. And, you know, obviously the active roster in 96. So, anyways, very cool item they have shoved in there. You know, I thought if I ever saw Tony La Russa, get him to sign the cover. You know, too bad I didn't have this the time I did meet him down at Busch Stadium. All right, so this next book, I actually did not have this version of this, but this is what they call a surf book. And back in the 1980s, Topps, I want to say circa 1986, 87, 88, would give these out as promotions at the ballpark. So you would go to, you know, the first 20,000 fans would come to the stadium and get a Cardinals surf book. And this also produced, I have another copy next to me. I did not pick this up in this lot. I picked this one up in the lot. And this is the 86 version, or 87 version probably, or that would be 88, I don't know. And this one only goes through the 1986 Cardinals roster. See, 86. And it shows all of the 86 tops. For this one, I think, probably has 87 and maybe even 88 in it. Yeah, this one goes through 87. So 1987, and this is the one I, you know, got in this lot, and it has all the 87 tops in there. And going back to, I'm just going to flip through this really quick at a side angle, but you can see all of the Topps cards throughout the years, and this actually was stuck in there, and I'll look at that in a second. It was like somebody's notes or something. There's 62, 61, you know, there's the 50s, you know, all the way back to 53. Or was that 51? Sorry. 52, excuse me. So 1952 to 1987, all the Topps cards that ever existed for the St. Louis Cardinals. And they did these books for just about every team. I'm pretty sure that all 26 teams basically got these. Surf Detergent was the sponsor. So you also had the non-surf books, which were strictly Topps books. And I'll show that in another video sometime, but I do not have the non-surf version of the Cardinals book. I just have the surf versions now. I have probably about 6 or 7 copies of these. I came across some in a card show once, and the guy wanted like $1 a piece. So I just bought them all because I just love these books. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I really enjoy doing, and if anybody's ever met me in person, I commonly get these autographed by the player. You know, like, say for example, if I'm going to see Kurt Simmons down here in the corner, I would either get Kurt Simmons to sign his card in the book, or I would find, like, say the autograph page in the back here, and I would get Kurt Simmons to sign it. So I have roughly probably about half of the major league teams. And anytime I find it convenient to get it signed, I try to. However, sometimes carrying a book around at a stadium or something can kind of be a nuisance. You know, so I don't always bring these out unless I know it's a for sure thing. Like, for example, I'm going to a card show, and I know, you know, Kurt Simmons is going to, or Ozzie Smith is going to be at the card show. It's $25 for a book. I pay Ozzie $25, he signs my book. That's a little better controlled environment than bringing it to the stadium. Some of the people that have known me for a long time, like the last 20 years autographing, I used to actually carry these with me in the car, and I would keep them in the trunk. And anytime I would see a Cardinal or a Cub, you know, which are common in the Midwest, or a Kansas City Royal, I would get it signed. Well, it got to the point where I was getting like Hall of Famers in these books. Like, I was walking around with Stan Musial, Lou Brock, and Red Chainbeans autographs in the trunk of my car. And I finally got to the point, I'm like, you know, I got to retire this. You know, my Cubs one had Ernie Banks, Ryan Sandberg, Billy Williams, Ferguson Jenkins, Greg Maddux, all signed in there. And I finally came to the realization, I said, you know, Andre Dawson, I think, was in there too. I can't be driving around throwing these in the trunk in the 100-degree weather with these big-time Hall of Famers in there. So I only bring my surf books out when I know it's a for sure thing nowadays. So getting back on topic, I'll talk about the surf books and maybe some future episodes. If you guys want to hear more about them, just comment below. You know, I might share my surf book collection. I might even go into detail and do a little history lesson on them. So in closing, these items, got a little bit of a glare on the Cardinal book there, sorry about that. These Cardinal items, including the Ozzie Smith wristband and St. Louis Cardinals headband, you can't go wrong with that, $750. I want to say with tax it was like a little eight something out the door, but you know, it was $7.50. You know, I thought for $7, you know, that's roughly $3 an item, you know, less than $3 an item, you know, closer to $2 an item. And the uniqueness of this Ozzie Smith thing is just so cool. I mean, I know there's some other viewers from the St. Louis area or that grew up in the St. Louis area to my channel. If you've ever seen these, just let me know, man. I've never seen those in my life, you know, growing up in the St. Louis area. And that would have been around the time that I would have been a kid. So my guess is there were probably a giveaway at the stadium. You know, that'd be my guess, especially with the Say No to Drugs, you know, thing at the bottom. But very unique items. I thank you for joining me for another episode of Flea Market Antique Mall Pickups, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.